Hey, hey, everybody. They say they're letting you know that we're here. I'm Victor Brooks, and welcome back to the Victor Brooks Show Indie Fam series right here on Instagram, y'all. Oh, man. So happy to have you here. We're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Two different shows, two different artists who come on and share their journey, talk of their journey, personal artistry journey. They share their artistic creativity with us. And we're coming at you with music. We're coming at you with photography. We have some photographers lined up. We have some poets lined up who are going to come and share their poetry with us. We have some dancers. Right now, there's a dance ensemble in Germany, that are putting together a dance presentation in their dance studio who's going to come and join us. We've just been doing this a few weeks now, and already the Indie Fam has grown to over 700. We're booked through March, and we're going to start preparing April's calendar this weekend. God, this is fantastic. As you know, we're not the big boys. It's not a big network. We're here really to just present the artist in our way, to show appreciation, to show support, to let you know where to follow, where to download, where to go visit this artistry live. And today we're going to continue that with an incredible artist, Elena La Fulana, out of Washington, D.C. Just from what I've been reading of her journey and her story, incredible, and I'm sure it will inspire so many. Please, ladies and gentlemen, type in where you're from, where you're watching, where you're joining in from. And most of our viewers come on the recorded or view on the recorded, the IGTV channel for the Victor Brooks Show, IGTV channel. And, we're so happy for those who can come live and watch. But we're also very, very happy and honored for the ones who can go and watch their recorded. So hey, Elena's here. Let me go ahead and bring her in and let's start. Okay. But thank you all. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for joining. And thank you all for watching recorded. There she is. How are you? Thank you for coming and joining today.
It's my pleasure. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. It's chilly here. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, sweet.
And it's a little chilly, but I love it because I'm bi-coastal between LA and here, but I'm going to make this home for a while.
Nice.
Where are you in from today?
I'm here in Washington, D.C. in my basement apartment.
All right. Elena, your story, your journey is incredible. It's fantastic. It's multicultural. It has tradition. It's artistic. Where did your journey start? Where did your particular journey start?
Well, I mean, I'm my art is completely molded by my life story, which is that I'm originally, my family and myself are originally from Managua, Nicaragua, but I was born in the U.S. during the war there in the 80s. And so I was born in New Orleans, then I lived in Miami for a little bit. I lived there till I was 8, so that's why I speak English the way I do. And then I moved back to Nicaragua and I lived there from 8 to 18. And so when I started writing music and I started getting interested in music, obviously I kind of had influences from both places, both cultures, both languages. And so that's why my music of Elena and los Fulanos, or Elena la Fulana is my solo act, is bilingual Latin folk. Because that's basically, I do folky stuff, I do Latin stuff, I do some country music. I mean, it's kind of all over the place, but really sticking to like folk traditions of, kind of both countries. And I think this is like an experience that's not uncommon to a lot of people. A lot of people have multiple identities, one of their parents might be from one culture. I mean, it doesn't even have to be two different cities, two different countries. It can be different cultures within the United States. And, a lot of times the art that we create comes from those mixtures in oneself, right? So
yes. Oh my goodness, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I can feel your artistry jumping through here like we do when you hear your music. So now, where did it start? Did you start like singing, or did you pick up an instrument, or was it self-taught? How did that journey begin?
yeah, I'm a self-taught musician.
Wow.
I never thought that I would be a professional musician at all.
Okay.
I come from a family of musicians. My oldest brother played French horn, pretty like school taught. He reads
Okay.
music and does that whole, and he played in orchestras when I was growing up. He's 10 years older than me. So when I was growing up, I listened to him practice all the time. I think that helped a lot with my development of my ear.
Okay.
My dad is a musician, sort of like me, that he does it on his own, in his own
Yeah.
terms, kind
Yeah.
of never wanted
Yeah.
to go to classes for it. And so I started learning music when I picked up the guitar. You know, I had a piano at home and a guitar at home. I was really grateful for that, because I just kind of started secretly playing in my house when the electricity would go out a lot when I was in middle school in Nicaragua. And so you know, I would have been in front of the TV, but instead I went out and played around.
Got you.
But also
Got you.
when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to chill a little bit, I'd be like, I'm gonna mess around on the guitar. So I
Yeah.
started learning songs by myself, and I had a few friends teach me some chords, and my dad teach me other chords, and that's how I started learning. And I just kind of, I mean, it's been a crazy journey to find out that I could actually do this as a profession, because because I'm not trained and I don't read music. I just always assumed that was not a possibility for me. So I
Okay.
really started through songwriting, getting into
Wow.
more
You
professional.
started through songwriting.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I
Okay.
consider myself primarily a songwriter. I mean, I
Hmm.
sing the music that I perform. Um, and, my voice is, I feel like I sing it okay, but I'm not one of those, I'm not
I
like,
got you.
I'm
I
nowhere
got you.
close to Whitney Houston. There's some people that are really doing amazing
But you
things
have
with
your
their
own
voice.
thing you do to it, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like,
Got
I
you.
kind of
Got you.
sing in order to kind of bring the song,
Got you.
there are people that are really like, they're really singers, and
Hmm.
I write my songs and I sing them and I play them in order to kind of bring them out into the world.
Where do you draw your creativity from? Because it's so, when, ladies and gentlemen, indie fan, when you please follow her page, go to her page, and you'll see what for those of your fans who are already aware of this, but then for the new fans that I know will come from this, you'll understand what I'm saying. And then hearing Elena talk about it, it's something about, when I listen to your music, it's something about, no matter what language or what have you, it's something about music and true artistry that just speaks to your soul.
Oh
It,
yeah, of course.
you know,
I think everyone can. I mean, my hope, at least, is that everyone can relate to the songs that I do. And I mean, I'm speaking particularly to kind of bilingual and bicultural people from Latin America and the United States. But it doesn't really. It's not about those two cultures in themselves. It's about the fact that, like, we're all these combinations of cultures, like each one of us. And
sure.
sometimes people can see that from the way you look, and
Yeah,
sometimes they can't,
yeah,
like, discern that. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
got you.
I once wrote an article about why I do bilingual music for a newspaper, and a woman that I worked with, who I thought I didn't have a lot in common with, she
Yeah,
was like, I really related to your article. And she was
see
like,
that?
I was like, this is like a white woman from like Kansas.
Uh,
But how is
uh,
she going to relate to my article? She's like, I grew up in a household with a Jewish mom and a Christian dad, and I feel like I grew up in two different cultures, and those things were like, I was never ever able to bring them together. And it's like, wow, I never would have known that about you, and that you feel this way, and that you feel like you have this complexity. And so that's what I hope, like, my show, I think it's easier to do in live shows,
yeah,
that to bring
okay,
those two things together, because you can kind of
okay.
intersperse in English and Spanish. But anyway, that's kind of the philosophy.
Incredible. No, I mean, I'm with you on that, because I think even as an artist, the more I grew in my artistry, I think I definitely know the more I became educated that it's something bigger than myself
Yeah.
that allows what I'm giving the public the interpretation it needs.
Yeah, it's a
For no matter what culture, no matter what language,
right.
no whatever, it's and I think that's even more. And I'd like to ask you that too. The mission of the artist,
Right.
that no matter what, if no matter no matter if it's super popular artist, no matter if it's the indie artist that's just doing a thing, whatever. I believe that our mission is to just give what it is that we can give, right?
Yeah.
And then let it reach where it needs to go. It'll find where it needs to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, like, for me, what I think is an interesting thing to think about is how, when you're achieving your goal as an artist, you're really actually, you're tapping into a universal through your individual experience. And then other people can tap into that universal that you've kind of been able to grab. But it's not like you can't write a song of just like truisms that are not specific. Like, people relate to things because they are specific, right?
Yeah,
So, but
that's
it's like that balance between like being specific enough to be relatable, but not too specific where you're being prescriptive and leaving people out of it. And so I think that's always the fine balance that you have to find.
Wait a minute, do that again. That was fantastic. Prescriptive right there. Give me that clip right there again, because that's right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say it the same way, but yeah, you want to be specific enough,
yeah,
where people can relate to you, but not too prescriptive where you leave people out of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, you want to tap into emotion, like universal emotions and universal feelings and universal, we've all woken up, like something like during the pandemic, we've all woken up a little bit sad, like,
that's right.
Sure.
That's right.
And so like the music right now is really tapping into that feeling. And I think that that's kind of our role as artists, is to be able to take the moment and interpret it for people. And that's why like sometimes, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but sometimes I'm like, why do I do art? Like, people can listen to, Louis Armstrong and like, the greats of our times, like of past times, like what's the value add that we give? And I think that it's a relevancy to like what's happening now, that even if you don't talk about it in the song, there's something like intangible about the fact that you are writing and speaking now in this context. What you're saying now means something different because people lived this experience, that like, people that are born 5 years from now, or people that were born 100 years from before, they don't know what we've been through. They don't know the unique experience,
Oh, come on. I'm with you 100% on that. And I mean, because that's why really, artistry is an individualistic expression. The genre of artistry, or the umbrella of artistry is what it is. It's an interpretation. It's whatever your creative outlet is. But the delivery, what you just said, is fantastic, because, I mean, you're explaining. No one can give your explanation but you. You did. No one can give your interpretation of this situation but you. Your interpretation but you. So when you hear people, even like another example that I can co-sign on what you just beautifully just delivered was cover songs. When you hear certain people cover other artists' things and cover this and that, there's an individualistic interpretation that's done.
Right.
That it's the same song, but the delivery's different. The feel is different. I feel something different that I didn't feel when the other person sang it, or what have you.
Yeah.
So just imagine how, as an artist, and I'm talking to our indie fam now, imagine what it is, indie fam, that when you do have that question, and if we're real with each other and with ourselves, we've all had it, and we probably all have it again. What Elena just beautifully and really put out there was, sometimes we can question, what would my art really, who's going to really get something from what I'm trying to give? Totally. Oh yeah, it's there. And sometimes it's not even for us to even ask that question, y'all. Yeah. It's just up to us. Put it down, take a picture of it, write a play about it, make a movie about it, make a dance routine about it, put it out there, and somebody's waiting
well, I don't know if you have this experience. I mean, I primarily started making art for myself, you know, and like I was saying, like I had no intention of really sharing it with people because it was something that I did for myself to process the world. I think a lot of artists are in that place where I mean, and I'm sure there's lots of other artists that don't publish their art and they just do it for themselves, and that's cool. I mean, that's if that's what you want to do, but you know, it got to a point where I was writing these things and I was singing them, and I would sing them for like my roommates and people, you know, that I were not real public, and they would encourage me. They'd be like, you know, this is something that other people have to hear, and you know, and you kind of just have to have faith that the message that you're putting out there will be interpreted. Like, you never know what people are going to do with your music. You know, you never know what people are going to think of your art, but it's like, it's kind of a good thing for the world, for more ideas to be out in the world, you know? I mean, and I think that speaks to the importance of having different kinds of voices to interpret all of these things, you know? Having different perspectives, because you never know who is waiting for that, you know? Who's like waiting for that message to feel like they're not alone in what they're going through. And you'll never, and as an artist, you'll never really know. Sometimes people will tell you, oh, this song meant this to me or whatever, but like, you'll never really know, and you know, the impact that you have. So you just have to go on and not really thinking about it. You know, it's hard to not think about like if people like your music, what people like about your music, what people are like about your art. But you can't get back down on that. You have to kind of go back to like, why am I doing this for myself? Because that's why people connect. People connect when it's cathartic for you to write or to say or to do what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know it. I feel what you mean. I feel what you mean. And so many others do, because I see the thumbs and all of that. And it's like, you know, that's why I wanted to do this show, Elena, because it's something about when artists get together and we're able to get into a safe zone. I mean, okay, yeah, I found out I'm an ambivert. I'm a little extra and intra at the same time. And then my artistry kicks in at those times where if I'm in a safe zone, or if I'm in a comfortable zone where I know people are speaking the same language like we are now, and this is what I'm getting in the emails of different artists where they're coming and say, yeah, I understood what you guys were saying, and it's hard to talk to people about those kind of things. You know, when your journey of independent artistry, what's the major thing that keeps you keeping on in your independent artistic journey? Like, makes you say, you know what? Nah, this is what I do, and this is what I'm gonna keep on doing.
I mean, you know, when I get to the real basics of it, I think for me, I think that the most valuable thing that people have, the most valuable thing that they have in their lives is their time and their thoughts.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that you can really, I mean, some people can't control where they put their time. I'm not saying that everybody has the luxury. I know that there's a level of, there's people have different needs and they have to do certain kinds of jobs, or life deals them certain things. But if you have the ability to figure out what you want to be thinking about, I just kind of realized, like, I can't really control a lot of things, but I can try to figure out what I want to spend the most of my time and energy thinking about. And I decided that the thing I enjoy most and that thing that gives me the most amount of like purpose is music. And so I think that's a really basic way to put it, but it really does keep me motivated to stay in art, which is not always, you know, the most lucrative career or the easiest path, especially during the pandemic when we haven't been able to even like really have shows and stuff like that. And so for me, that's kind of the basic of it, where I'm like, I just want to spend the most amount of time thinking and doing around music and around creativity, and however I can form my life to do that, that to me is a big win. I don't know if that's really
Yes,
basic,
no, I'm
but
with you. I'm with you. That's
you
right.
know,
I mean, you use the term basic when you, but I think that that is what it is. It's just what you love, you know? It feeds your soul, and then what you give to us feeds us, you know? Speaking of that, you got something that you can feed us with right now?
sure. I can do a song for you. Got my guitar right here. I don't know
All
if you
right.
can see it. You want to be able to see it? Maybe I can move this.
Oh, hey, however you want to, we can see and hear you.
Get a little further back there. All
All
right.
right.
This
All
one's
right.
called Morir Bailando. It's in Spanish. I don't really mix English and Spanish. I kind of just write in one or the other. So, anyway, it's called Morir Bailando. Prefiero morir bailando. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila. Ay, que en el engaño de tu surco. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor dejar atrás tus mentiras. Ay, que maltratar este corazón. Con ese ritmo viene la noche. Con el calor llega la aventura. No hay que vivir con la amargura. Ay, que siempre trae el desamor. Eso. Y cuando bailo me lleva al ritmo. Yo con la cintura te digo todo. Solo volver a amar lentamente. Con alguien que me trate mejor. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Aquí en el Peter Brook Show, Mejor dejar atrás tus mentiras. Ay, que maltratar este corazón. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor dejar atrás tus mentiras. Ay, que maltratar este corazón. Tú me dejaste muy bien plantada.
Yes.
No volveré a entregarte toda. Que mi felicidad es mía. Ay, que nadie más me la quitará. La música es mi compañía. Amor que nunca marchitará. Como el espíritu de mi gente en este trópico continente, en mi país hecho de calor. Prefiero morir bailando. Eso. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor estar sola y tranquila. Ay, que en el engaño de tus ojos. Prefiero morir bailando. Prefiero morir de amor. Mejor dejar atrás tus mentiras. Que maltratar este corazón.
Elena, that made me happy. That was great. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Please, what's the name of the song again? And tell us what the song is about for those
Sure. Sure. It's called Morir Bailando, which is kind of, it says means to die dancing, but it's kind of like an ode to, I think it's kind of like leaving yourself on the dance floor, and also like to dance with like no one, like you don't care about anybody else, what anybody else thinks, you know?
Yeah.
And really it's an ode to like being single.
Okay.
I'm now engaged, thankfully, but I spent many years, not really dating at all, and just feeling, and there's a lot of pressure from society to be in a relationship, and there's a lot of value, like especially in Latino culture, there's a lot of valuing of that as like a way of having self-worth. Okay. And so this is kind of a song for people to say like, you have self-worth without being in a relationship. Like, you have self-worth just from being yourself, and dancing by yourself is cool, and you should have fun with that, so that's kind of the spirit.
That's what I was feeling, because I just felt happy. That's going to be here, and I'm going to take that. Girl, thank you for that.
No, thank you.
You got to give me a minute to breathe on that one, because that was out of sight. That was out of sight.
Oh, so, my friend Luna. Hola, Luna. Gracias.
Oh man, that's it. So tell me about something you mentioned about the solo and your band. Not only, so you also put a band together at times that you work with, right?
Yeah. I mean, this was years ago. In 2011, I formed Elena and Los Fulanos, and it's mostly music that I write, and obviously we've worked on them together, and we've put out 2 albums.
Wow.
Nominated for a Grammy. I know. I was thinking I should have my album here to show you.
I like the way you slid that by about nominated for a Grammy. That was great. That was one. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, that's not my band. That's the other band that I play with. So I also play guitarron in an all-female mariachi group called Flor de Toloache, and they were nominated for a Grammy.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure. I would
love to showcase mariachi on this show. I love the power, romance, and technique of mariachi. Oh, yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
I love that. I would love to. My God, do you think you could help me work that one out, or get some mariachi on here, man?
I mean, it's hard to do mariachi solo. That's the thing.
Yeah, I got
like
you.
An ensemble, you know what I mean?
So, that's true.
I mean, but we could, we could
try to work something out. Yeah, we
could see if we can talk offline about some possibility. But yeah, so I play bass. I play bass and the mariachi bass. I don't know if you have seen it. The really big one that has a big back, and it's fretless and stuff. It's called a guitarron. So I play that with a band called Flor de Toloache, and they have nominated for a Grammy, and they've done songs with John Legend and things like that. They're amazing and a big deal. And it's really cool that I've been able to play with them, because I've also been able to continue doing my own projects when I'm not on tour with them. So yeah, I formed my band in 2011 called Elena and Los Fulanos, and we've released 2 albums, and there's been like a lot of growth out of that. Obviously, now that the pandemic has happened, we haven't been playing out very much.
I understand. That's right.
So I've been playing a lot of solo shows, and so I've decided to just rebrand as Elena La Fulana moving forward. To make it easier, since I've been playing so much by myself, and sometimes it's just easier because I'm branded as a band, but sometimes I play solo and I can accompany myself, and so So I think in the future, I'm going to go forward with Elena La Fulana.
Elena La Fulana, ladies and gentlemen, follow Elena La Fulana.
Thank you.
Download Elena La Fulana. And when you see any presentation in your area that's live and you can go go experience Elena La Fulana. Because, I mean, that's one reason, Elena, why I wanted to do this show. Because when we're scrolling through and we hear the music, we see the music or what have you, we love the music, but then to be able to hear the artists talk and hear the journey, you know, and hear what inspires them. And that even gives us, I believe, even more of an embellishment of why we love what you do and what you give to us, you know? You know, what do you hope your music gives when people hear it?
Well, I mean, you know, there's all kinds of things you put into your music, and you don't always know what makes it to the audience. But I think, like in general, for my performances, I hope that people understand that like being fully immigrant and being fully American are not in conflict with each other, and those things can exist at the same time. And I try to exemplify that in my music by, you know, playing a song like Morir Bailando, which is kind of like a cumbia, and then also playing like a country song and showing that, like, yeah, these two things exist in me and they're fully authentic, and that your different identities can also exist in you, and that those are not in conflict with one another. You know what I mean? So
Come on, yes, I do. And the fact, y'all, do you know, I love talking to you because this conversation can go so many branches over the tree that we're growing and have grown through this interview. And you know, the whole thing that you brought in about how music and artistry has the power, I'm going to use the word the power,
sure.
to educate about multiculturalism.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, and the fact that that's what you're doing and what you said you're doing in essence. How has it been received from you?
I mean, I think it's been received really well. I mean, I think people find that there's a value add to, and that's the cool thing about both of the projects that I'm involved with, both my own solo project and Flor de Toloache.
Great.
Both projects are basically doing, because this mariachi group is based out of New York City. It's all women. And so it's really doing a take of mariachi. That's a genre that everybody knows, but it's making it a modern kind of American woman-centric thing.
Okay.
But I find, like, you know, in DC, you know, I live in Washington, DC, and a lot of people ask me a lot, well, why are you a musician in Washington, DC? And I actually have had a great time here because it's a very internationally minded city. A lot of people care about social justice issues, and a lot of people want to have more diverse voices in their events. And so people really care about that kind of education. I think that that's not just here in DC.
That's right.
That's a lot of places where people are like, hey, you know, it's really important to have different voices involved. And so I feel like my band has really filled that gap. But I also hope, one of my biggest hopes for my band is to really reach out to, like, those Latinos that maybe grew up in a household where they spoke Spanish but didn't want to speak Spanish themselves because whatever reason, you know, they were discriminated against for being Latino or speaking Spanish or coming from an immigrant home. And then they become adults and they realize they don't know a lot about their own culture. And they don't have a lot of tools to re-engage with their culture. And my hope is that with my music, it's kind of like I'm living in a space in between where I kind of grab from here, but I'm also doing a little bit of indie rock, but I'm also doing, you know, but I'm also doing cumbia, but I'm also doing a little bit of country, but I'm doing a song in like reggaeton, but then I have an English rap in it. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the hope, is that it's like a welcoming environment for, like, a lot of different kinds of people to kind of just explore and feel safe in that space. That's my hope, you know?
Fantastic. Oh, out of sight. Well, hey, we have your back. Whatever it is we can do to promote. And like I said, I have a format I've been doing 1.5 years on Facebook, the Victor Brooks Show Facebook Live. But on both platforms, whatever it is we can do, I want to help get the word out. I want to help continue this beautiful journey that you have begun artistically, and continue to do a week. I want to bring my bricks to build your bridge that you are great, you know, that you're bringing together. And would it be imposing if we asked you for one more in Spanish?
Oh, in Spanish, sure. I was going to give you one in English for the great
sorry,
state that you're in.
whatever you have prepared.
No, it's cool. I can do one in Spanish. I was going to finish with one in Spanish. Do you want 2 or 3? Are we going to do is this the last one?
I'm ready for whatever you have, and I just don't want to overstand my welcome with
Oh,
you.
no, 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 not at all. I'm going to do one in English because you are in
Okay,
the state of North Carolina.
you got it. You got it.
Actually, before I became a full-time musician, I went to a bluegrass festival in North Carolina called Merle Fest. It's out in Boone County.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
held in a community college campus. It's a really fun time, like
All right.
really
All
wholesome,
right.
good time. And I bought this guitar there. This is a GS Mini Taylor, and it's a smaller guitar. I call it lady sized. And I bought it there, and then I wrote this song for your state. And so I'll sing it to you now. It's short. Oh, my mother always cared for Carolina. Said it always was a place she'd like to see. As I look to my reflection and her staring back at me, I know I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Oh, the wind it brushes softly on my window, and the rain it brings a drop right to my cheek. And it always gets so cold here, and that's why I gotta leave. Because I'm going to Carolina, and that's where I wanna be. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Hola, Yayita. Ooh, come with me. Come with me. So the time has come for me to make my way now. Hear her singing in the distance, soft and sweet. And I know I'm gonna miss you, so you should come with me. Because I'm going to Carolina, and that's where my heart is free. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring. Because I'm going to Carolina, and I hear her calling me. And I'm going to Carolina in the spring.
Out of sight. Out of sight. Right on. Right on. Carolina in the spring is beautiful. It is. It is. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is a treat. Whatever else you have, I'm just sitting here. I love it. Let's
All right.
whatever you have. That sounds great.
Yeah, well, I guess I could do. Do you want me to keep going? You want me to do another song?
You said you had one and you had three. You had one in
Sure. No,
Spanish.
I have one more. I was gonna do three. I think we talked about
I,
three.
it would be an honor. Thank you. It
Cool.
would. It
Well,
would.
this is a song. I also, I think I haven't really talked about social justice, though it's definitely a theme throughout my career.
Mm-hmm.
Before I became a songwriter and a musician, I I worked on social justice issues. That's why I ended up in DC. I wanted to do something for my community, and I ended up working on immigration issues
Great on.
for a time. And
Mm-hmm.
and so social justice is really important to me, and I am a social justice songwriter. So I wrote this song during the elections, not these last ones, but the ones before that. And I wrote them because, as a woman, part of the reason I'm from Nicaragua, obviously, but as a woman, I feel like I have a lot more opportunity here in the United States. And it's part of the reason that I live here. And it made me really sad when I saw women being treated poorly in media. And it made me think, I don't want it to be like it is back home, And so that's kind of where this song started, but it ended up becoming kind of a more general justice song. It's in Spanish.
Okay.
But it's like kind of a sing-along. So if people are on live or even in the after recording, you can sing along with me. And it goes like this. It goes, ponle fin, pon fin. You say, a eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso, ponle fin, pon fin. A eso ponle fin, pon fin. And so what we're saying is put an end to that. You're saying to that. And what is that? It's like sexism and racism and all the injustices that we have to deal with in the world. So that's what the song is about. It's in Spanish, but feel free to shake your shoulders, move in your seats, and sing
Come
along.
on, y'all. Right on.
You're joining. Here goes.
Right on.
Oh, and it has a music video with a rap that I will not do because it's a special guest. But you guys can check that out. ¡Eso! Esta canción se la dedicamos a todos los que luchan por la justicia y la paz en este país, en nuestros países y en el mundo entero. A las mujeres les dice que sean buenas, que se ajusten, que se amanten. A las mujeres les dice que sean lindas, que sean dulces, no se amarguen. A los hombres les dice que sean firmes, que sean duros, que maltraten. Yo no puedo aceptar esas cosas, yo no suelo conformarme. Y dice, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin. Como dice, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hay personas que quieren decirte a quienes tú puedes amar.
Yes.
Y les llevas de la policía que lo suele matar. Inmigrantes viven con horror que los vengan a deportar. Y los dedos de la policía que los suelen fácil matar. Vamos todos, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin. Como dice, ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin, a eso ponle fin, pon fin. No al machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no te digo no, no a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no te digo no, resiste, no a el machismo, no a la explotación, no a la homofobia, no te digo no, una más pues, no a la intolerancia, no a la deportación, no a el racismo, no a Donald Trump.
Out of sight, Elena. Now you see, Indie Fam, what I'm talking about right here. Oh my God, out of sight.
Thank you.
Out of sight. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know what? This was a great surprise that you went back to back 3 songs for us today and gave us what you give us. This is out of sight. Thank you so much, Elena.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this sweet show. And yeah.
Hey, you got it. It's just my small way of being able to say, hey, y'all, yes, real artistry is still here. Yes, incredible creativity is still here all over the world, you know, and just whatever I can do, we can do together, Indie Fam, you know, support each other. If you were filled with that positivity just as much as I was today, Indie Fam, follow Elena's page. then go download the music and then share it with somebody else. Let it snowball. Let it spread. That's how we can do for each other. And that's what we need to do individually and collectively. That's why we do the show, y'all. And everybody that takes your time to come watch it live, thank you. And everybody who watches the recording, thank you for that. And I know that so many of you all are sharing these videos. That's what it's all about. See, I'm not really worried about the live. You get in it live and you can watch where you can. But when you tell me you're sharing them and then you tell me you're putting them on your page and you're telling others about it, that's why we do it, Indie Fam. And your newest family member, Alana the Fulana, today just gave it to us.
Yeah.
And I'm on top of the world. Alana, you got a fan in Victor Brooks, girl. And I know with the Indie Fam series. Is there anything you want to say to your new family member fans and even the ones who I know are lining up here? My sister Sarah Day out there in Los Angeles, California. Thank you. Another independent indie artist been doing her thing. What do you want to leave us with today?
Oh,
The Fulana-ness.
Just want to say, keep in touch. If you like what you hear, I've got a YouTube page. I have a website. I have some merchandise if you want to record. Those are in style. I have my record player right here.
Yes.
Indie music, vintage records. I also I have a Patreon, which I'm updating and doing kind of private events and shows for them. So there's a lot of stuff that you guys can do to support my work and keep up with all the performances. And if you want to go a step further, check out Flor de Toloache as well, which is a band that I play with, and we got some cool gigs coming up. So all of that will be updated on my website. And I have a mailing list too, where I send people, information about everywhere that I'm going to be and all the different projects I'm involved with. So just don't make this the last time. I hope to see you all out in person. Hopefully soon we can go and have some maybe outdoor shows when the weather gets nice, and see all of your faces and meet all you folks that we have been kind of in our little caves for a while. But I think it's gonna be great when we get back out there. People are so hungry for art, and I think it's important that us as artists, we make sure to feed that, to nourish that, because people really need it. It's really essential for people's well-being to really experience art and to really connect with other people in that way. So it's a good time to be here. It's very important what we're doing, and thank you so much for putting this show together to really kind of be like a time capsule of that, and so that people can go back and check out all these amazing artists that you are discovering and showcasing, and that's really an awesome service to the world. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it today. This was a whole spiritually artistic event today as well. Elena La Fulana. You see that's it. I mean, she has a new fan in me. Well, I've been a fan since I've been starting this whole process with it today. But I see so many of you giving that love today. Follow Elena. Follow on Instagram what she's doing. She gave you the website. Go to the website. And Indie Fam, let me tell you something. Keep sending your emails. I love them. And now that the Indie Fam has grown over 700 at this time, that's what I'm talking about. We're able to share it with each other. We're able to say, hey, check this artist out. We just saw him here. If you like poetry, because we're giving poetry to you. We got poets coming at you. We have photographers coming at you. We have dance troupes coming at you. We have a world of creativity coming at you all, that definitely answers the question, yes, there is incredible talent here. Just because we don't hear it on the radio or mainstream television or whatever the multi-level of the big platforms are, we are so proud of what they're doing as well. But we have to remember that there are other artists out here on the grind day to day that are giving us some incredible art. And look on the feed here. We have www.elanalosfulanos.com. All right, as well as www.patreon.com// Elena La Fulana. look on your feed and since it's there, I'm going to stay here little more time just to make sure you all see this, because that's why we're here, to support independent artistry and artistry in itself. Oh man, we have our calendar that we're so happy to know that we have our booking. We're booked all the way through the end of March, and we're going to start the April-May calendars this weekend. Loading them and bringing those artists to you, you know, and we want to thank you for you taking your time. If you can watch live, we thank you. If you can't watch live, we thank you for the thousands who've been watching over there on the IGTV Victor Brooks Show channel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I always say. Every time at the end of the show, I always tell you, come on back and get some of this positivity on you. Take a bath in it, take a shower in it, scuba dive in it, skinny dip in it if you want to. But whatever you do, jump in that pool of positivity. And when you come out, sprinkle it on as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. And we'll see you next time on the Victor Brooks Show Indie Fam Instagram series. Talk to you then.